Hi everybody, my name is Beth and I am the Steadfast Stitcher, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've had a great stitchy 2 weeks and you're not too hot from all the crazy weather. I know it's been really brutal here in North Carolina the last couple of weeks, but we're headed for a cool down, so I'm excited about that. Today I have got WIPs to show you. I've got our giveaway winner and a little bit of haul. Now, for the past 2 weeks, I did do the WIP Frenzy Stitching Challenge, which is originally from the WIP Warriors group on Facebook. That's a closed group right now, but they will be opening up closer to December. And when that does open, I will try and mention that here on my Flosstube so everybody can go take a look at it and see if they're interested in joining it. It's really good for helping with some progress, and I'm enjoying the group. WIP Frenzy is one of my favorite challenges, and that takes place during 24 hours of cross stitch. And it's 100 to 200 stitches, 100 to 200 stitches on as many projects as you can over the weekend. Now, my Crafts and Books Facebook group is open for the weekend during 24 hours of cross stitch on our Zoom room, and we have multiple giveaways, so I'm always stopping and starting. And of course, there's my kittens. So they can tend to be a bit of distraction at some point over the Zoom weekend, or multiple points over the Zoom weekend. They're currently in a food coma after having dinner, so we'll see if they make an appearance or not today. But let's get started with the WIPs that I'm working on. Now, as always, I would love to hear what you're working on while you're watching your Flosstube videos, including this one. And if you're brand new, I do hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe. I really love our stitching community. Now, this was one of the WIP Frenzy pieces that I worked on, so I just got a little over 100 stitches on it, but it is a fun one. This is Gingerbread Smalls, and this is from 2022 from Twin Peak Primitives. And so I put in a little over 100 stitches on this one right here, which is called the M&M Cottage. I do plan on doing more of these at some point. And I've got room on this fabric that I'm using to do more on this one piece. But I'm using 18 count Ada from Dying for Cross Stitch. And I will try and remember, I've said it before and I think I forgot to link their website address below. They do have a really nice selection of fabrics, and they're pretty fast with shipping too. Not just on the ready to ship, with the ones that are going to get dyed. So this is where I'm at on it. I got the little cherries on top. They just need the little stems on them. And I got some more snow and roof done. So this is a fun one to work on. But like I said, it was WIP Frenzy, so it didn't get a lot. But it was fun to pull out some projects that I haven't worked on in a while. And I have a feeling that some of the ones I pulled out are going to be staying out much longer. Whoops. Dropped one. I've got a bit of a pile here for today. Now this one, speaking of ones that haven't been out in a while, this has not been out since January of this year. So it has been some time. But this is from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and this is Bluebirds and Bluebells. And it's a beautiful design. I really like working on this one. So it's not that I don't enjoy it, because I think it's more of a matter, I've got so many to choose from it's hard sometimes to figure out what I'm going to work on. I am going to be doing Arbitrary August, by the way, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But I am doing this on 32 count Zweigart Silver Moon. And it's with the called for threads. You see it? It's a mighty big piece of fabric too. So I did a little bit more border on this one, and then I worked on the berry bowl. So I got all the little berries done, and I've started on the bowl portion. But this is going to be pretty large when it gets finished. It's like I'm just very up in the top corner of it. You can see I'm just right up here. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. So I've still got a very long way to go on this one. It's going to be a while. This is definitely not going to be a 2025 finish, but it was fun to pull it back out again, and I have a feeling you will be seeing this in the not so distant future. Certainly not, what, 7 months since the last time I had this out. Can you believe it's all going to be August on Friday already? Oh my goodness. Time goes by so quickly. Oops. This is something I have to remember. If you have kittens, and you get these little Amazon bags, do make sure these little tabs are inside the bag, or just cut them off entirely. Just a little kitten tip, because one of my kittens had pulled off that little black tab and was trying to chew and swallow it. So that would be an emergency trip to the vet if that had happened. So yeah, either, you know, zip them inside the bag or cut them off entirely. So that's an unsolicited kitten tip. Okay, next one that I worked on, I'm going to put the picture up here. And you've seen this one plenty of times because I've been switching off for monochromatic Mondays. Every other month I work on this one on Mondays. So I did pull this out to get a little more stitching done on it for WIP Frenzy. And I really just worked on the roof underneath this cat. But, oh my gosh. I love this piece. I love the colors on it. I am using Silks for You PR 152. And I'm going to double check if I can't remember if it's, I always forget if it's 18 or 20 count. This is 20 count Tinsmith from Dying for Cross Stitch. And it is just gorgeous. Love this piece. And this is from Owl Forest Embroidery. Eventually, I would love to do Black Roses. The other piece that they have out that's a black sampler with that Gothic cathedral or castle that's in the background. It's absolutely stunning. But definitely not before I finish this one. This one comes first. And I have several, I've got multiple other Owl Forest Embroidery WIPs that I need to make progress on. One that I definitely want to finish this year. So yeah, I need, and in fact, my haul is also Owl Forest Embroidery. I'm so bad. So the next piece that I worked on, well, this wasn't a part of my WIP Frenzy. This was my monochromatic Mondays for July, and it was Arabesque. And unfortunately, a couple of Mondays were really heavy duty work wise, so I did not get very much stitching done on it for the month of July. Hopefully when it comes back around in September, I can get quite a bit more done. But I am using Vicky Clayton Silks hand-dyed fibers, and I'm using Nile Blue for this one. And it's just a stunning color. And I am stitching this 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. And so that's where I am with this one. So basically I just did the H, I did a little more border, and that was about it. I'm thinking I wanted to save like the fan and the big emblem for last, but I'm leaning towards going up and starting on this part of it next, and then doing more of the alphabet, and then doing this at the very end. But we'll see. I might change my mind, but that's along the lines of what I'm thinking with this one. But that color is just gorgeous. I love how it's turning out on here. And that is by Jan Hicks Creates. Gorgeous pattern. I'm going to take a, quick water break. I'm a little undecided currently about Monochromatic Mondays. I still want to keep up with doing it, but I'd like to bring both of those out more often than just Monday nights and alternating months, because, you know, Monday nights after work, I can kind of be a bit of a zombie and I don't get a heck of a lot of stitching done. And I love both of those patterns so much, Arabesque and Vintage Black Sampler. And I would love to see more progress on them. So you may see more, you may see them come out not in their Monochromatic Monday month. Like August is Vintage Black Sampler, and I'll be doing Arbitrary August, but I would like to see both of those back out again next month as well, because they are just both a joy to stitch on. All right, now the next one was Riley Harbor, and this hasn't been out in a little while, but this is one I would love to get a 2025 finish on. This is from Kathy Barrick. So I have my ceiling fan on. It is very humid outside today. But oh my gosh, that whale is just fantastic. And I love all the clipper ships. This is a very fun stitch. And I'm enjoying it immensely. So I'm doing this on 18 count scroll from Bestitch Me. And someone asked me about scroll before, and scroll is, I would say, probably one of my favorite neutrals for going for like that antique beige look. I do love grays and blues as well, but yeah, I really like how scroll looks, and very antique. Antique, my new word. All right. So for Riley Harbor, I did this tree up here, which just needs a few little more blossoms on it, and started the roof of the house next to it, and finished off that horse. And this was one of my WIP Frenzy pieces. So I'm at about 40% on this one, according to Pattern Keeper. So it's definitely a possibility. The only thing that concerns me really is I used the DMC conversion. I didn't use the NPI silks. And it is really hard. I haven't even stitched his legs yet because up against the house, I think it's really difficult to see that there's a horse there. And maybe it'll be better once I add his legs, but I'm thinking I might like add an additional thread just to darken him up a little bit so he's more visible against the house. But yeah, I love this ship here and the little crab. I can't wait to stitch the whale. This is very enjoyable. This is one of the pieces I would love to see finished this year. This next one hasn't been out for quite some time, and I was trying to look back and I couldn't find it readily the last time I pulled this out. But this is from Prairie Schooler, and it's book number 45, Garden Samplers. And there are 3 patterns on here. And I intend to do 2 of them. Right now, I am working on this one. There we go. And then I plan to also do this one. And for this garden sampler, let's see. Always forget the verse. It says, "Into your garden you can walk, and with each plant and flower talk." And then the one with the birdhouse in the middle says, "The flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing birds has come." So yeah, I like both of those quite a bit, and I really enjoy stitching on the garden gate one. And let's see. So there, both of them are 182 high and 81 wide. So not huge, but they're a decent size. Now I am stitching this on 20 count Dusty Cottage, 1/1 with the called for threads. And I'm going to see if it shows up, but basically I did the gazebo. I don't know if you can see all the white stitches, and it's got some patterns in it. So that's what I did for Garden Sampler during WIP Frenzy. I just think this is going to be really pretty. And there's going to be other colors and another color block on this side as well. So I think it will make the white pop out a little bit more. Actually, this is it white or ecru? I believe it's ecru. So I think that will make it pop out a little bit more when it gets more of the color blocks in there. But very, very pretty and a super enjoyable stitch. Again, too many choices. Alright. This one also came out for WIP Frenzy. And it's another Owl Forest embroidery. And this is one I would also like to get done for 2025. I think I'm about 55% or 60%, somewhere in that range of completion. This is Pumpkin Colored Autumn. And this is a free pattern that you can get on Owl Forest website, not on Etsy. They have an Etsy site as well. But if you go to their actual website, they have a number of free patterns on there. And this was one of them. I think I also got like cats going home, and there's a cute little fall fox that I'm going to use for a stitch along that starts September 1st. I'll have more about that later in the month. I'm just joining in. I'm not hosting. But so yeah, Pumpkin Colored Autumn from Owl Forest Embroidery. I am using the Owl Forest threads. And this is where I'm at. So I worked on that tree down there in the center and added more vines underneath the 3 pumpkins. So like right in here. So added more vines in there, and then did that tree. So I made some decent progress with it. This is a beautiful pattern, and I love the owl forest threads. And this was for pumpkin birthday salve for Laura Stitching by the Shore. So I would love to have this one done this year and be able to start another pumpkin one for Laura's birthday. I think that would be fun. Plus I love all the pumpkins and fall theme patterns so much, so it'd be nice to start another one. My next WIP Frenzy piece was a Paula Vaughan, and it's called Summer Breeze. You've seen this a couple of times recently, and I am doing the Paula Vaughan along with Cross Stitch the Globe and Jen's Fiber Web. So this is Summer Breeze. And I just love that house. And the quilt in the front on the porch on the little tree swing. It's so pretty. I did this as a WIP Frenzy, so I didn't get a lot done. It was just, I think I just got just under 200 stitches in it. But I worked more on the building itself, and it's really not showing up, but I added some of the white that's going to be the porch railing that goes across the house, and I added some more to the tree as well. It's a fun stitch. I like this one, and it was a great excuse when they Cross Stitch the Globe and Jen's Fiberweb came up with doing a Paula Vaughan along. I love that idea. So I have a few Paula Vaughans hanging around and a couple that I've completed and given away. So, but Summer Breeze, I'm glad to have that one back out again. And so, a little bit of progress for WIP Frenzy, but it did get some progress. This one is another one that has not been out in a long time. Again, no good reason. Not because I don't like it. I actually love it. And I have a few of these. But this is a Honey of a Tiny Town from Heart and Hand. So the last time I picked this up, I just had one sunflower. And that was it. Didn't get much done on it at all. I was probably distracted by squirrels. Somebody came out with a new pattern and something, and off I went. But this one I am doing on 32 count Jobelin. It's an unnamed fabric from Bestitch Me, probably from one of their Friday night fight nights. So now I've got 3 sunflowers and the start of the building, the first building here. So not much, but it did get a little bit of progress. And I think this one's going to stay hanging around for a while because I also have a couple other tiny town ones, and I would love to get started on them. I just want to finish this one first before I get started on any more. And I've seen so many people have this one finished, and it's such a pretty design. So yes, I would love to get this one done at some point and then work on start another tiny town. I think it's Autumn Tiny Town, I think, is the one I would really like to work on next. But I do have a few of them. Pattern collecting is a different hobby from cross stitching. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Excuse me. Shocking, another owl forest. All right, so this one I am doing, I'm stitching this for Lancashire Stitcher, and this is a Dragon Stitch for Mom. Mum, M-U-M, is the hashtag, and I am doing Star Dragon from Owl Forest Embroidery with the Owl Forest threads. And oh, it's a joy to work on. I'm stitching this on 25 count, 1/1 with the Owl Forest threads. Let's see if I've got a fabric name for you. This is Sugar Cream Pie by Bestitch Me. So since you last saw it, I did this flower and started off on this one. So not a lot of progress, but I did make a little for a WIP Frenzy, and look at that. That red is just gorgeous. I don't know if you can see the variegation in it. It's so pretty. Oh, and I also did a little bit more of the eating my vegetables, working on the border. I did not do the Runner Stitchers Challenge this summer. I'm kind of regretting that I didn't. But there was so much up in the air with my life at the moment. When the challenge came out, I ended up not doing it. But I'm so enjoying seeing what other people are doing for his challenge. And he's always got such great ideas. So hopefully the next challenge he has, I can join in with him, because it looks like it was a lot of fun. So I'm kind of bummed that I didn't jump in on it. But Andrew the Runner Stitcher, if you're not following him, he's got a terrific channel as well. And definitely do go check them out. Now this next one, I am way behind. Shocking, right? But this I started with, oh my gosh, I just drew a blank. A moment. Wow, that was bad. It's Stitchy Sally. Oh my goodness. And she's got a new video out too that I need to go check out. But it is Cabin in the Woods from Flossabilities. I'm sorry, Sally. And it's Cozy Cabin Birthday Sal. Now she's finished hers. Several other people have finished theirs. I'm not even close. But it is a really enjoyable stitch. But I finally got to work on some of the trees, and they're so pretty. So I had finished the cabin previously. So I did some of the line borders under here, you know, not very exciting, but necessary. And then these trees. These trees are gorgeous. Sorry about that. I love the colors in them. So pretty and so different. So I was excited that I got to put in some work on them, and they're just beautiful. I am using Dirty Chalkboard from Bestitch Me, and this is 20 count. And I'm using all the call for colors. So I still have a ways to go on this, but it is a fun stitch, and I really like working on it. So sorry, Sally. I can't believe I blanked on her name. Golly. All right. Yeah. So Cabin in the Woods by Flossabilities. So that is all my WIPs to show you for the last 2 weeks. I feel like I did make some decent progress. And I think, you know, the kittens are kind of finally settled in. They're still, of course, kittens. But they seem well adjusted now and enjoying it and just having fun with each other. You know, and yes, they do get into trouble sometimes. But I think, you know, they're getting more comfortable with me stitching and coming up and sitting beside me, or Violin, the mother, loves to lay against my leg like Kiwi used to do. while I'm stitching. So my stitch count is up this month. Not quite where it's normally at, but it is improving, so I'm happy about that. Now for August, I do plan on doing Arbitrary August with the wheel spins. I'm not putting all of my WIPs on there. That's just too much. So what I'm doing is, because I'm doing WIP Go, and there were several months, like with everything that was going on, this year has been kind of rough so far, that I didn't get my WIP Go goals completed. So my plan is to put on the wheel all the WIP Goes that I have not completed yet, you know, through the month of August, including August, and some of the Sals that I would like to really work on, and then like Riley Harbor and Pumpkin Colored Autumn that I would both love to finish this year. So those are my plans for what I'm going to put on the wheel, and then spin and see what I get and see how well I do with making some progress and catching up on WIP Go. So I'm crossing my fingers. So let's see. Haul. I got 3 patterns. I didn't print it out, so I'm going to put a picture up here. And these are 3 fairly new patterns from Forest Embroidery, Camellia, Morning Glory, and Fuchsia. And I think they're just stunning. And I blame my Crafts and Books group, our 24 hours across Zoom, because someone called them out, and we all jumped over and took a look at it while we were stitching on Zoom, and several of us ended up buying all 3 of those patterns at about the same time. So yeah, I don't know when I'll start it. These are quite large. They're not that wide, but they are very tall. I believe they're 300 high, but they are stunning. Most of them, I think 2 are just cross stitch and back stitch. 1 is cross stitch, back stitch, and French knots. So they'll either get, the one with French knots will either get colonial knots, or they might get beads in them. You know, they're not going to get started till 2026, but I'm already thinking along those lines, because I always struggle with French knots. Colonial knots don't seem to bother me any. So I will probably do either colonial knots, or who knows, it might be really pretty with the little beads in there. All right, so that's all my haul. That's my plans. That's my WIPs. So let's check out who won Merry Stitchmas. I did a flip through of this a couple of weeks ago, and I asked you to use the word Stitchmas in your comments. And the winner of the Merry Stitchmas book is, drumroll please, Crochet Kim Cat. Crochet Kim Cat, congratulations, you won. I'm going to have my email address in the description box below, or you can also reach out to me through Instagram. I'm also the Steadfast Stitcher on Instagram, so either one, you can either email me or connect with me via Instagram. That's fine. But congratulations, and I will get this out to you. And let's see. So my next video will be in 2 weeks in August. Wow. The only thing I can say about that is it puts us a little bit closer to fall, which is my favorite time of year. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about fall. Not winter, but fall, definitely. All right, so that's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a great stitchy 2 weeks. Again, if you're new, I do hope you'll hit like and subscribe. And thanks to everyone for being a part of my little cross-stitch corner of the world. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I'll see you soon. Bye.